Hello, beautiful butterflies, and welcome to Naturally Graceful. If this is your first time, I'm Nina. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the mistakes that I have made on my gray hair journey in hopes that if this is something that you found, or maybe even to avoid these same mistakes, as well as give you guys some tips and reminders that I think will help you not only on your gray hair journey, also if you're transitioning to natural. And the very first thing I want to do is give a disclaimer. When I am on here, guys, I am sharing my experience, what has worked for me, things that I hope can work for you. What I offer are suggestions, not rules. So you're going to see this in my slideshow, but if something is working for you and you're good, then there's no need for you to change it. Also, if there's something that I've suggested and it doesn't work for you, don't feel bad. This platform is about sharing. And it's also about things that I learn. I am not a professional. I learned this is a collaborative effort. All of you guys share things that work for you, your product recommendations. It's definitely a collaborative effort. So I just want that disclaimer out there. I'm not a professional. I'm not making rules. These are suggestions and recommendations, things that have worked for me, and I hope that they can work for you also. So I see a couple of you are here already. I know I'm starting a little later than I usually do today, but I welcome all of you who have joined and who will be listening in. I'm going to go into my slides and then we're going to have our Q&A. Alrighty. So I'd love for you guys to let me know, what mistakes have you made or you feel that you've made on your gray hair journey thus far? I'm going to let you know the top 6 for me, starting with the first one is comparisons. Comparisons, I think, is not the way to go when you're on a gray hair journey. How come my hair is not going to come out like this person's hair? Now, what's nice when we see one another on here is seeing someone who does have hair similar to us. We know we're not alone. It does give us some inspiration, but we don't want to say, oh, well, how come my hair can't come out like this person or that person? I'm going to explain why in just a second. Unrealistic expectations. We expect our hair to grow faster than it will grow. We expect our gray hair pattern maybe to come in because you see someone else's gray hair pattern come in salt and pepper. You expect yours to, or white. There's so many surprises. You really have to surrender and be open to however your hair is going to come in. And I remember I first learned these lessons from going natural, which is why I think that was a great stepping stone for me when it came to gray hair. But even on my gray hair journey, I still made those mistakes on what I thought my gray hair was going to look like and be like. And then there's impatience. We're so impatient with our progress. And I'm going to give some tips on what we can do to deal with that. So there are the mindset mistakes that I made when it came to gray hair, as well as the practical mistakes. Not giving my hair enough moisture because forgetting, I had to do a lot of research about why gray hair is different than my hair when it had more melanin and color in it. Detangling, and this is a lesson I am continuing to learn, especially from my last wash day, and not giving myself enough time. Now, I know there are some of you who are looking for a minimal routine, a simple routine, and you may look at my product videos and you may think, oh my goodness, that's too much. Again, a reminder, when I do those product suggestions, these are all the things that I have used. I don't use them all every single wash day. It doesn't mean that you have to use all of them. It's just a wealth of information, suggestions, and recommendations that can help you in deciding what you can use for your hair. This is a mistake for us to forget, and I hope you guys could see this because it is a bit it's a bit small here. Hold on. Okay. So these factors we have to remember can affect how our hair behaves. genetics. Okay, somebody's hair can grow faster than your hair. My sister and I are a perfect example. My sister's hair, I feel, grows way differently than my hair. As you guys could see with this puff that I have, like that's maybe like half of my sister's hair. There are vitamin deficiencies that could be affecting the dryness of your hair, how your hair is growing. I didn't realize that until I was pregnant, and after I had my son and I started having some breakage in the back of my hair, and going to the hairdresser, she was like, have you got your iron levels checked? And I was like, I never thought about that. And lo and behold, I did have low iron. I also had some thyroid issues. So we have to consider, beyond the products that we use and the routine that we have for our hair, these different factors that can affect results. And that leads to that mistake of having unrealistic expectations. So genetics, vitamin deficiencies, our hair can tell us a lot about our health. Medications, if you're on medications, your hair care habits, like I mentioned before, are you deep conditioning your hair? What kind of conditioner are you using? The products, I just have some notes down here too. Products can be a part of your hair care habits. Your hair could tell you whether it likes a product or doesn't like it. Tools that you're using could be affecting your hair. If you're using heat, if you're using a brush or a comb that maybe your hair doesn't like. Again, you're going to see some tips why we need to listen to our hair, listen to our scalp. And past damage. This is another one. You know, we relaxed our hair before, we colored our hair before. Maybe it might take some time before our hair recovers from all of that processing. I remember when I used to get my hair relaxed, when my mom used to do my hair before I went to a hairdresser, you know, she was like, your mom's doing the over-the-counter perm. She's like, you know, from the box. And she said she was over-processing my hair. My mom didn't know that. You know, she was doing the best she could. But there was the issue of over-processing, and that contributed to my hair being thin. So there's the relaxer, there's maybe traction alopecia from braids or weaves or wigs that can affect the loss, maybe on the sides. I know I had to deal with that when I first went gray and I got my hair cut low. You could see my scalp. And I remember it made me very self-conscious. And I meant to tell you guys, or have a picture of a product that I did use when my hair was really low. It's called Topics. Let me know if you guys have heard of that in the comments. It's like hair fibers. Instead of actual like hair color, you would just kind of like spray it on there to kind of fill in the gaps. So past damage, color processing, you know, especially when I was using box dyes, I'd use them over and over again. I would color more than once in the same day if the color didn't come out. Let me know if you guys are guilty of that too. I know I'm not alone. So there are a lot of things that we've done to our hair that all of a sudden, when we decide that we want to go gray, which is great, our hair doesn't forget. It's like, okay, well, you need to give me a minute to recover from all the stuff that happened before. And this is not the case for everybody. There's some people who go gray very smoothly, have no issues with their hair, no issues with texture or dryness. Again, I'm going to give you guys reminders of why you can't compare someone else's journey and their experience to what you have. Diet is another factor. You know, the things that we're eating, are we getting enough hydration? You know, with drinking enough water and things like that. It does play a factor. You know, we're so easy. Let me know if that's true for you guys. It's so easy for us to look at, this product isn't working. But are we taking care of our inner health? Because that also can be shown by our hair. And I forgot to put on here exercise. I love the Green Beauty channel because she had a video that talked about how exercise and circulating your blood is how you get the nutrients to certain parts of your body to get what you need. And our scalp is the area that our hair grows out of, and it needs that circulation. It needs those nutrients to get there. So exercise. And she also talks about the inversion method, basically putting your head upside down, how that helps with growth. With our hair. So there's a lot of practical things that we can do to be able to help how our hair behaves. Then there's porosity. Everybody's porosity is different. Many have asked me what mine is, and I honestly feel I have mixed porosity, especially because I have some darker areas. I have this like white area here. You can even see with my little twist out bang here, the difference of these twists and the difference of these twists right here. So porosity has a factor. Your gray hair pattern. Is your hair all white? Is your hair salt and pepper? Do you have patches? That can affect how your hair will behave compared to the way that it used to be. If you guys have questions, if you're liking what you're hearing, of course, like and subscribe. But if you have questions, please put them in the comments. I will get to them soon. Then there is the moisture protein balance that I did not realize. I was really good at moisture. Sometimes I over moisturized. I used to be guilty of deep conditioning overnight with a shower cap, making my hair real mushy. And I realized from doing research that my hair, while it is protein sensitive, it does require some protein, especially if it's gray and it's more porous and needs some strength to it. So those are some things that I learned. And then stress. Have you guys ever experienced when you're stressing out and maybe, and isn't there a lot of stress going on today? I mean, that's an understatement. But stress, even I remember my mom, before she went natural and gray, she had a moment where she was having lots of breakage in her hair. So to see her hair the way that it is right now is awesome. And it's not to say my mom's life is stress-free, but stress can be a factor. So these are all things that I want you guys to remember whenever something is not working right with your hair journey. What one of these things can you look at to see that could be contributing to the results that you're having? Okay, so I want to give you guys a graceful reminder. You can use the same product and do the same technique, and the results may not be the same. I learned that during my natural hair journey when I used to go on YouTube. YouTube is an amazing place to learn things, but it's also a place for you to compare and be like, I did the same thing she did. How come my hair doesn't come out the same? That's a reality that you need to remember to have realistic expectations about what your results may be. What works for some does not work for all. What works for me may not work for you. And remember, these things are not rules. They're suggestions. When you go online, you look at me or anybody else, look at it as another tool in your toolbox that you can try. Because this is a truth. It's actually the next slide coming up. But the reason why the results vary, guys, is our hair is unique. Your hair is unique to you. Your genetics, your body makeup, the products you use, the way you do your hair, the thickness of your hair, the density of it. There's so many factors. It's not just cookie cutter. When I use this same product, I will get the same results. So again, all these reminders are to help you when it comes to having realistic expectations on your hair journey, whether you are relaxed, whether you're natural, whether you're gray, or even colored hair. This is true for everything. You ever go to a hairstylist and give them a picture of what you would like your hair to look like? I want my hair like this. And then they do it for you and you're like, this doesn't look like the picture. And I'm sure if anybody's a hairdresser, they can relate to that struggle of like, you do the best you can with what you have, which is your client's hair. So having realistic expectations can help the journey to be a bit smoother. Here's another truth as well as a reminder. It's trial and error. Lots of trial and error. When I went natural, it was trial and error. I don't encourage people to be product junkies and try everything that they see. But you have to try something with a grain of salt and say, okay, I'm going to try this because so-and-so said that this might work, but I'm going to let my hair let me know whether it likes it or not. Listen to what your hair and scalp tells you. Does it tell you, I don't like gel? Gel works for me. Doesn't work for my sister prefers creams and butters and things like that. My hair will tolerate it, but not that much. My hair loves gel. And she even told you guys on the interview with my mom that she also found gel to help my mom with her frizz that she had. So here's another reminder. If you're a part of the camp where what you're doing is working, don't feel like you have to change it because so and so said or I said. I saw this concept when I was watching a Green Beauty channel. She does so much to educate us about our hair and science. And she had said, look, I'm telling you about all these different things, but if you're using something that works, you don't have to add on all these things. So I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed. Take what works for you, and let your hair and your scalp let you know if that is something that needs to be in your routine or not. Perfect example, pre-pooing works for me. If pre-pooing doesn't work for you, you don't see that that's a necessary step in your routine, that's fine. But for me, for sure, pre-pooing, detangling my hair with an oil or conditioner or my fave fenugreek detangler from Nature's Little Secret, that is necessary for me. And this last wash day, guys, proved to me that I need to make sure that I detangle my hair before I shampoo it, because the tangles are real. That's something that comes with having natural hair. And I am going to be trying for the rest of this month too on my lives to discuss one topic like shampoos, conditioners, stylers, different things that I've learned for my hair. And, you will find out for yourself if that's something that works for you. So here's some tips that can help combat some of the mistakes, or I feel like they're normal. If you compare, you have unrealistic expectations. If you've done these things, there's no need, it's not about shaming. It's about, okay, this is not helping me. This is not helping the journey to be smoother. So what can I do instead? Or when those things come up, when I feel myself comparing and saying, oh, I want my hair like hers, I can appreciate rather than compare. Wow, I love how her hair looks. That's a mindful way of doing it without the judgment of her hair looks better than mine. My hair can't do that, so my hair is not pretty. Her gray hair pattern looks like that. Mine doesn't, so hers is prettier than mine. Let's appreciate on both sides. And I'm going to have a quote coming up next for you to keep in mind. Acceptance when it comes to unrealistic expectations, because guys, we can follow the rules, suggestions very with great care and still not get necessarily the results that we like. So we have to learn to make do with what we have and accept, right? And when I say focus on what is happening, especially if you're at the stage, many of you who've just started your gray hair journey and you're growing it out, focus on the fact that it's growing. Focus on, we mentioned other things that make you feel good, jewelry, accessories, makeup, your clothing, different things that can make you feel good as opposed to the thing that's not going right. Because as they say, what we focus on grows, right? Here is a truth that I want you guys to remember. Let me know if you agree with that. Hi, Anjana. Hello to everybody who came on. The right way to go gray is the way that works for you. And that goes for really any kind of hair journey that you're on, because I should have mentioned this in the beginning as well. I don't want people to feel if they're coloring their hair or if they're relaxed that they don't belong here. My ultimate goal beyond hair and gray hair is to feel good about you, to accept, where you're at, and to see the beauty that there is in you. And if you are coloring your hair or relaxing your hair and that works for you, then you're good. But there are some who don't want to do that anymore and who need that encouragement, support, and cheerleading. And that's what I'm here for. So when I'm encouraging that, I'm not saying someone who colors their hair or who relaxes their hair doesn't love themselves. But for those of us who do want to make that transition and need the support and need the reminders, this is what, you're here for. There's no one way for us to do certain things. Everybody is unique and different. So if you want to go gray and You decide, I can't deal with the grown braid. I want to just color all my hair gray. I want to go through the process of stripping the color, which is a labor intensive process. But if that's how you want to do it, then go for it. I don't want there to be divisions even within a supportive community at how somebody decides that they want to do what they want to do. This is my favorite. When I saw this quote on Pinterest, I was like, this kind of tops it off, and I'm going to be ending it here. Admire someone else's beauty without questioning your own. So I was saying that to you before. If you see someone else's hair, and I've had people tell me this before, and while I love the kind comments that you love my hair, I never want you seeing my hair to make you feel like yours is any less beautiful. Or a lot of people tell me, I hope mine comes in like yours. And maybe it will, and maybe it won't. But I don't want you to be feeling like if it doesn't, it's not beautiful. Everyone has their own unique beauty that they bring to the table. So please don't ever go on Pinterest, Instagram, social media, internet, wherever in real life, and let someone else's beauty make you question your own. So I want you to embrace what will come in because it's yours. And I hope that you guys enjoyed my little slideshow. And of course, as I tell you guys each time, you can email me at nina@naturallygraceful.com for any questions that you have, any video requests. And I just want to thank all of you, if you're watching, the ones who have emailed me and reached out and sent me pictures of your big chops, sent me pictures of where you're at in your gray hair journey. If you have sent me questions and things like that, I appreciate it so much because it helps me to know what will work for you. Let's get to our other. There we go. So now I'm going to come and say hi to you guys. Hello. Hello, Egbert. Is it Francis? Hi, I'm loving all the Caribbean people who are coming and joining from Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia. You're trying to go natural and you just started going gray to be on the right track. That's great. Let's give some claps in the comments for Egbert. Is Egbert your first name, or am I saying it right? Hello, Grace. You said evening. What time is it by you? Oh, I'm so glad you were inspired, Egbert. Oh, that's okay. Wendy, hello. Oh, thank you. Danetta, you're here. Teresa, you were able to come in. Oh boy, I did not know that that was today. Thank you for letting me know that. Hi, Wendy, Marianne, Danetta. Okay, I knew you guys were going to ask me about this lip color. This is from the Lip Bar. It is called Boy Trouble. And I love the Lip Bar. My very first lipsticks that I love were Wet n Wild, Liquid Catsuit. But Lip Bar is coming for Wet n Wild. This is like an orangey red color. And when I put it on, I didn't think I would like it, but I love it. So it's called Boy Trouble by the Lip Bar. Danetta. Hi, Paula. Danetta said the mistake you made was thinking that the products that worked for your colored hair would work for your gray hair. Thank you for sharing that. That's another thing that we have to, I could have put in one of the slides. We have to be open to change. And even for myself, when I first started my gray hair journey to now is very different. How I'm taking care of my hair or the things that I need to do. Hello, Anjana. And for those who had asked a question, Anjana, if you're still on here, let me know, because she has a Facebook group for those who are for Indian women who are going on a gray hair journey. And I feel like that would be a great resource for those who had asked about henna and growing out your gray from hennaed hair. Hi, Jay Williams. Hi. Oh my goodness. John 3:16. I know your name. Please remind me of your name. Wendy, I'm glad you like the quotes. Please let me know in the comments if you guys would like a PDF of those quotes. For those of you who I promised from Monday a PDF, I did not forget about it. I thank you for your patience. Please look out for a link. I'm going to be making a link for both of the quotes that I had from Monday's live as well as this one. So please be on the lookout for that. If you are signed up for my newsletter, then you'll automatically get that tomorrow. But if you just want the PDF and not the newsletter, then look out for the link that I'm going to put for you guys. So Jay Williams, you said, does our gray hair change our porosity? I believe it does, because from what I saw in one of Green Beauty's videos, and I think it makes sense, the hair strand is made of many different layers, and so when it becomes gray, you lose a layer, and also because of the lack of melanin, there's also a gap in the middle, she mentions. She has really great visuals to explain better what I'm talking about. If you guys go under my playlist, you should see that I have a Green Beauty playlist where I believe I put in about, what happens with our gray hair. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Hi, Pat from Houston. Nice to have you on here. Thank you, Marianne, for reminding me. So it is reasonable to expect that your hair will change. Some people say that their hair's thicker than their gray hair, like Adelina said that in her interview. Her gray hair was thicker than her colored hair. So some people don't necessarily get a different result, like their hair being thinner. Sometimes it's thicker because it's healthier, in that the color is not, damaging the hair cuticle and things like that. And then there are some, maybe when they first went gray, their hair texture was a certain way, but as they got older, or maybe the different factors I mentioned earlier in the video could be affecting the porosity of the hair. So I don't think it's just gray. I think there's a lot of things that can affect the porosity. Like my mom's hair is thicker, I think, than my hair, and we're both gray. So I hope that answers your question. Awesome. Patricia, are you on a gray hair journey by chance? And I just had a moment, guys, like I just blacked out. When I stopped talking and I actually hear silence, I'm like, okay, what was I saying? But I really want to just encourage you guys to have realistic expectations for this gray hair journey. Here comes Danetta talking about Lucy Pearl. I love it. She said Lucy Pearl is wiry and wild. She doesn't play well with certain products. Yes. And you found that out through trial and error, right, Danetta? Let me tell you guys. So I was trying to do a different style. I actually like it though. It didn't look like this when I first put it together. And that's another thing. You got to have faith in your hair. Sometimes certain styles need to grow on you. When you guys came on here and you saw my mom being interviewed by my sister, my mom primarily wears her hair in a stretched state, and that's what works great for her. She's not a wash and go girl because she probably has a lot of shrinkage, and my sister also can't do wash and go. So you also have to think about how you style your hair mostly. And when I style my hair in a stretched state, I see more of what Danetta talked about with her hair. I find it's way more wild. Like right now, actually, this is, if you guys could see that, this is not too bad with the definition. And this is how I do sometimes. Instead of doing this whole head of hair, I will just do a bang so that I can get a different style. And I have my handy dandy headband, but you will see I have this little black thing here, which is like a nice soft material. I will always have that underneath to protect my edges. And so this is like a puff. So I washed my hair on Monday, right? I think it was Monday. I washed my hair and I've been trying to stretch it because I told you guys I was going to trim it. Haven't trimmed it yet. Okay, Patricia, you've been gray for 4 years. Have you made any mistakes along the way, or do you have any advice to share with those who are just starting their journey, on expectations for the gray hair journey. Yeah, so when my hair is like this, and it's even bigger than this, but all I have in my hair is the Melanin Hair Care leave-in conditioner, and I tried her twisting butter? That was really good. I think there was somebody who asked me something to help seal their ends if your ends are dry. That was pretty good. It doesn't really have a smell to it. It's white and very creamy and thick. So that I used for my twists. But I'll tell you guys, when I do my twist in my hair, like my hair looks very full and dense right now, right? But if I put it in twist, I could easily put them in like 4 twists. So like depending on the style, you will see a different characteristic of my hair. So that's something else to consider too. Thank you, Wendy. And Wendy, I love the video you had shown me of your hair and when you put it up. Do you find that your hair behaves differently depending on the style that you have? Jay Williams, you said, what products do I like using on my hair? I love using gel. I really do. And I love Kinky Curly Knot Today. I think if you hear me talk about any one product over and over that is a winner in any time I wash my hair, it is that leave-in conditioner. And I think it's because it's water-based and it's creamy. And my hair, now, I cannot use that on its own. I have tried that when my hair was shorter. And this is another thing that we have to keep in mind. When my hair is short, it behaves differently than when it's longer. When my hair was shorter than this, I remember there was one time I just put Kinky Curly Knot Today leave-in and my hair was fine for a couple of days. But now that it's long, I did that and I found that it got very tangled. Gel is a nice coater. It coats my hair properly to help it to not intermingle with itself and become really tangled. So I love Uncle Funky's Daughter, Curl Magic. Is it Curl Magic or Curly Magic? I think it is. That's a nice, anything that has marshmallow root in it, nettle, agave nectar. So I like the Kinky Curly Custard also. Those are light enough it's enough to give me curl definition and not too heavy, but gel and leave-in conditioner are like my go-tos. Hi Penny, how are you? Hello Rhonda. Rhonda, you say you're learning to let your hair dry overnight after a wash and go. No product, just 4 twists to dry and then style the next day. That's awesome. Do you find that you have less shrinkage when you do that, Rhonda? Because that is something else that I was thinking about. I have tried that, especially if I wash my hair too late, because that's another Aggie thing about doing your hair. You really have to think about the timing. I don't do a lot of heat on my hair, so I have to think, if I do my hair at this time, will it be dry enough by such and such a time? And when I do put gel in my hair, now that it's getting longer, I do need to do my little ghetto diffusing that you guys saw with the strainer to help the front part to stand up. Now, a lot of you guys love seeing that volume and that nice high taper. I'm not always able to get it that way as it gets longer, because I notice with the longer it gets, the weight of it likes to go kind of the way you see it, off to the side. Wendy, you said it does change according to the style, but for updos like the one you sent, you must use gel or the grays go crazy. So do you need to put gel in all of your hair, Wendy, when you put it up, or just the outside after you've pinned it up? Okay, Teresa. Let me know. Send me a picture of what it looks like for you, because that's another thing. Like, this same color could look very different on another person. But what I love about Lip Bar is it goes on really wet and bright, but when it dries to a matte, it's so, so nice. And it lasts all day. Ruby Woo, is that a matte color? I think that they have, I think it's called Hot Mama. I think that would be comparable to Ruby Woo for you, Teresa. Rhonda, yes, less shrinking. And that's another thing. If you have natural hair, to have realistic expectations. I didn't put that in my slides, but you may find, not always, that with your hair that is white or the less color that you have, the less colored hair will have a looser texture than gray hair. Like white hair will have a different texture than gray. Let me know if that's true for you guys. Danetta, you said Lucy Pearl only plays well with Sue Becky Lou. Brown new growth. You're getting brown new growth? And caramel colored hair. When you do a 2-strand twist or straw set, if you do something new, she says, new sis, try again. Oh, nah, sis. Okay, so sometimes it takes me a while to process what I'm reading. So I think you're saying that depending on the styles, your hair acts a certain way too. I would like to do a rod set. I'm just being completely honest. I'm so lazy. Like this style actually right now is pretty cool. I just did 4 twists in the front and they were all different colors, guys. That's another thing. I noticed with this part of my hair right here, it's very fine, very puffy. And as you start to get here and up here, it's thicker. So when I would have my hair usually up and tapered, I noticed this shrinks at a different rate than this one. So you have to understand your hair. Maybe certain gray parts of your hair shrink at different rates. It would be so easy if it was just cookie cutter. I'm a type 4, high porosity, low porosity. It could be mixed. It could be mixed. And so you have to listen to your hair in certain sections. When I used to get my hair cut in the curly cut, I used to be so frustrated that one side would be shorter than the other. And I realized it was because each side seemed to have a different shrinkage rate. I've heard different theories that like the side you sleep on grows more or doesn't grow more. There's so many things to it. So we can't just expect if I do this, why don't I get this exact result? If our hair doesn't teach us about surrender and just let it be what it's going to be. Wendy, you put gel on the outside only for your updos, but sometimes you like wild strands. There you go. Hi, Nora. Danette, I love it too, right? It's like she's telling a story. So I'm actually gonna be wrapping up within 10 minutes, guys. So if you have any more questions that you'd like me to answer for you during this, please put them in there. Hi, Dolores. I appreciate you guys who remind me of your name because you know my struggle. Danetta, you have gray mixed with dark brown new growth. Okay. And actually that makes sense because when your gray hair grows in, that's another thing that you may think when your hair grows in that it'll all be that way. I've definitely heard from some of you that you just have got salt and pepper strands, not really like a whole lot of gray. And maybe that changes in 5 years or 10 years. So because of that, kind of like you, Wendy, or those who have salt and pepper, then you gotta, it can be frustrating, I'm sure, to deal with those rebellious strands that are really acting alone because the other colored hair is used to, just being chill and cool. But when you have a whole bunch of them, maybe they'll behave differently. Uncle Funky's daughter is a great strong hold, and Carrick hair has a protein gel for a great soft hold. Thank you for those recommendations, Danetta. I agree that Uncle Funky's daughter does have a strong hold. I like using Uncle Funky's daughter and Kinky Curly Custard on my edges because before I used to put Eco on my edges and I realized just that alone, that heavy gel on the edges were contributing to breakage. So again, you have to listen to your hair and what your hair is telling you and, adjust accordingly. It was so nice to see you guys on here today. If you guys also like, you could let me know what you're thankful for today. Like I said, I'm going to be wrapping it up in a little bit because I'm going to meet with my little guy's teacher. So I want to, while I'm waiting to hear from you guys, I'm going to wrap up again what we talked about today as far as the mistakes that I made on my gray hair journey, which remember, mistakes are lessons. You know, I learned it's human and it's normal to compare, to have unrealistic expectations, to be impatient. But I learned from those mistakes to admire someone else's beauty without that taking away from my own hair. You know, yes, I love that person's thick, lush hair, but my hair is also beautiful. Learning to accept certain things I can't change, like my shrinkage rate, the way my gray hair comes in, you know, patchy, or some areas salt and pepper, accepting yellowing. You know, I tell you guys about purple shampoo. I tell you about kale and clay, all those different things. But at the end of the day, yellowing happens, and learning to accept that instead of trying to eradicate it all the time. And then I forgot the third thing I told you guys. Oh, focus on what good is happening. That could help you to be patient. So when you document your progress, then you could look back and say, you know what? It is doing better than I think. Hello, Dawn. How are you? You find that your salt and pepper hair has different textures. The gray and white parts seem thinner than the black parts. Okay. Yeah, so that's an example right there that there is a somewhat of a texture difference. When you think about it, when you look at this video that Gray Beauty's talking about, when she shows you a visual of a hair strand and the lack of melanin, you'll see how it's almost like paper. So it makes sense why our gray hair is just like, it does its own thing, because it's a different characteristic than our black hair or colored hair. Oh, Danetta, I thank you for your support too. You guys are just as supportive. I appreciate you guys. Marianne, you're thankful for me using my platform, and you had the courage to get rid of henna indigo. 1 step to embrace your gray. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Dawn, you said conditioning helps greatly. It does. Conditioning is very important, and I'm going to talk about that in future lives. Devoting one live to talking about cleansing our hair, how that helps gray hair, because you guys have let me know you want to know more about taking care of your gray hair. So in the comments, please let me know any specifics that you would like me to go over. I could do research on. Okay, Nora has also given up on henna. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, Dolores. Oh, thank you, Patricia. It was nice to have you on here. I love whenever I do a live and I meet somebody for the first time. So I want you guys to take these things to heart, to, at the end of the day, appreciate your beauty, as well as you guys are doing a great job with supporting one another. So I thank you for you're helping, giving me the tools to know what will be helpful for you. So again, as far as the PDFs, if you guys would like of the quotes and the different tips, please let me know in the comments. You could also email me personally at nina@naturalgraceful.com. There was a beautiful butterfly who did that. They were like, where's the PDF? So I thank you for your patience. I am working on that. I will have that for you guys, and I will be live again on Monday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe next Thursday, for those of you who ask me about thinning hair, about growing your gray hair, I'm going to have a lovely co-host with me on Thursday who is going to go over Ayurvedic herbs and how helpful they were for her and her family. So stay tuned for that next Thursday. Wendy, you're just adding that your mistake was being impatient. You're not alone in that. You're welcome, Dawn. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciated having you on here. Nora, is it recommended to change your hair porosity to the middle? Is it recommended to try to change your hair porosity to the middle? Email me more about that so I could get some more context about what you mean, Nora. But thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I look forward to connecting with you guys via email or the comments. And again, thank you so much. You guys who join up here on the live help make it a very collaborative and enjoyable experience. So thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.